Hello viewers, hope you're doing well. Today in this video, I'm going to create a sign up form in our React.js application. So let's get started. Let me open here React.js application. As you can see, the sign up component. So here inside the sign up function, I'm going to create a use state for the form data. Let me initialize this with the use state. Inside the use state, we have an email that is by default empty. Second, we have first name. Third, we have last name. At the last, we have a password. So let me add here first name, that is by default null. After that, we have a last name that is by default null. At the last, we have a password that is by default null as well. Now after that, let me initialize the navigate with the use navigate hook. After that, I'm going to create a state for the loading. So it will be a set loading. And let me initialize this with the use state, and it's by default false. Now after that, I'm going to add here the HTML code to create the form. Before adding the HTML code on the top, I'm going to create an object with the name default theme. Let me initialize this with the create theme that we have to import from the material UI. After creating the object of the default theme, I'm going to add the fragment inside the return. Inside this, we have a tag that is a theme provider. Let me import the theme provider from the material UI. Inside the theme provider, we have a tag for the container. Let me import the container from the material UI. Inside the container, I'm going to add here the tag for the CSS baseline. Let me import this. After that, I'm going to add here the tag for the box. Let me import the box from the material UI. Inside the box, we have a following properties like margin top, display, flex direction, and the align item. Inside the box, we have an avatar with the log outline icon. Let me import the avatar from the material UI, and I'm going to import the icon manually. So let me add here the import on the top. As you can see the import. After the avatar, I'm going to add here the tag for the typography where we have a caption of the form sign up. Let me import the typography from the material UI. After that, I'm going to add here the tag for the box where we have an event on submit to call the method that we have handle submit. Let me create this method. So it will be a const name of the method that we have handle submit, and it will be a async function. Inside the argument, it will get an event. Now after that, inside the box tag, I'm going to add here the tag for the grid. Let me import the grid from the material UI. Inside this grid, we have different inputs like email, first name, last name, and the password. So as you can see, the text field for the first name with the following properties like autocomplete, name, required, full width, ID, label, autofocus, value, and the onChange event. In value property, we are calling here the use state that we have form data. Let me check. This property will use to set the default value. In our case, it's by default empty. After that, we have a onChange event where we are calling the method that we have handle input change. This method will clone the input value to the use state. Now after this input, I'm going to add here the input for the last name. As you can see, the text field where we have a ID last name and the property value that we have form data dot last name, and on the onChange event, we are calling here the method that we have handle input change. Now after that, I'm going to add here the input for the email. As you can see, the input where we have a ID email. After that, we have a value that is a form data dot email. Let me check. So it's an email. After that, we have a onChange event where we are calling the method that we have handle input change. The last input that for the password. As you can see, the input where we have a label, password, ID, password, value that we have form data dot password, and on the onChange event, we are calling here the method that we have handle input change. Now let me create the handle input change method. So it will be a const name of the method that we have handle input change. Inside the argument, it will get an event. So I'm going to extract name and the value from the event dot target. So we have to extract the name and the value, and we have to extract these from the event dot target. After that, I'm going to call here the form data use state, that is a set form data. Inside this, we have to clone here the use state, that is a form data. Now after that, we have to pass here the form state name like email, first name, last name, and the password. With this, we have to pass here the input value. Now after these inputs, I'm going to minimize this grid. After this, we have a button tag to submit the form. As you can see, the following properties that we have: type submit, full width, variant, some styling properties that we have margin top and the margin bottom. After that, we have a disabled property if the form data is invalid, like email, password, first name and the last name are empty, then we have to disable the button. After that, we have the logic. If the loading has true, then we have to show the loader on the button. Otherwise, we have to show the string that we have sign up. Let me import the circular progress from the material UI, and we have to import the button as well. After that, I'm going to add here the tag for the grid where we have a link with the caption, already have an account, sign in. On the click of this link, we have to navigate the user to the sign in page. We are calling here the method on the on click event. As you can see that we have handle sign in click. Let me create this method. So it will be a const, name of the method that we have handle sign in click. Inside this method, I'm going to call here the use navigate hook. Inside this, I'm going to add here the codes where we have to define the path of our sign in page. So let me add here the routing path that we have /login. Now after that, I'm going to write the functionality inside the handle submit method to get the form values from the form and print them into the console. So I'm going to call the method from the event that we have prevent default. This line of code will not reload the page while submitting the form. Now after that, I'm going to call here the use state that we have set loading. Let me make it true. After that, I'm going to add here the console.log to print the form values in the console. After this, I'm going to update the set loading state to false. Now let me check the console, what error we are getting. The error we got, text field and the link is not defined. Let me import this. Text field at the last, we have to import here link. Now as you can see, error removed. Now you can take a look of the sign up component. Let's navigate to the browser. As you can see, the sign up form where we have inputs for the first name, last name, email address, and the password. After these inputs, we have a button with the caption sign up. After the button, we have a link with the caption already have an account, sign in. Now I'm going to click on this link and it's navigating us to the login page. So let me fill the form with the first name, John. Last name, let me add this. Email that we have john@test.com and the password that we have 123. Now let's click on the sign up button. As you can see, the console where we are getting the object with the form values, email, first name, last name, and the password. So that's all for now from my side. If you have any confusion, you can do comment. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.